Hello everybody! Welcome to another Sunday Funday, and yes, we're actually seeing something kinda newish. It's hard to describe this as a new movie.
It's been in production hell for
3-4 years at
something.
least. And in fact, this movie was supposed to come out, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of 2018, then got pushed to 2019, and then coronavirus. That's the reason why it's totally coming out now just on Disney Plus. And those who are wondering, if you haven't scrolled down, we're of course talking about Artemis Fowl.
We'll see. Who do you think you are?
I'm the next criminal mastermind.
Now look around, this is what they call great.
Or as I came up with its alternative name, Diana Duck. You're smart if you get that joke. So, quick disclaimer. I actually have read the first Artemis Fowl book, which this is supposed to be based on. Sort of. I'll put it that way. It's like, those who are wondering, well, how true is this to the novel? It's decently true to the first novel, but at the same time it has to include all the pretty much what's the word I'm looking for, retcons that the writer Eoin Colfer, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher his name. It's Eoin, last name Colfer or something like that, or Fier. Yeah, it's fairly true to the original book in terms of the major plot point, but even then, I'm going to let Megan get more into it. Just because I want Megan to give her opinions on it, because I am somebody who's read the book. But as an outsider who has not read any of the books, what did you think of this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
It was not good.
Now that is being charitable. It was a steaming pile of goat shit.
Oh, where do we begin?
Well, we could start off with the fact that somehow this is brought to us by Kenneth fucking Branagh. The fuck? Did you run out of Coke money or something, dude? Just needs like, Disney, can I do something? I need something, you know? I really hurt my nose. It's so... Why is this the movie he decided... I mean, he's obviously wanting to do the Agatha Christie novels. Well, I should say the... what's the name of the...
The Hercule Poirot?
Yeah, Hercule Poirot. He's wanting to do those. Like, alright, cool. So he's also wanting to do Artemis Fowl. It's like, okay, weirder choices, but hey, I guess there is something set there, because the Artemis Fowl books, of course, are set mostly in... Alright, so we gotta talk about the plot of the movie, I guess, is the big issue. Because that's one of the problems. And in fact, also one of the problems with the first book. Those who cannot get around the first book's plot, which is the best way to describe it, because in all essence, it's a standoff film, or standoff book, and in essence, that's kind of what the movie is. Essence. In the fact that what happens in the book is that Artemis is a mastermind. He's a child genius in most ways. In the book, let me put it that way. He comes off very cocky, but also there's a reason for that cockiness. He teaches himself how to read in Gnomish and other different things. He teaches himself a lot of stuff. And because of that, he eventually learns more about the fairies. And he goes to capture one and holds her prisoner. And then the fairies pretty much start a siege to try and get her back. Roughly, that's the book.
And at least in the movie, it's the whole plot to try and get his dad back.
Yeah, it at least gives a reasoning for it. And even then, though, it's so lame. Because it's supposed to be because he learns his dad is a master spy. or not master spy,
Criminal.
Yeah, criminal mastermind. He's stolen all these artifacts and stuff like that.
Because they're like magical, like fairy artifacts that will either expose the existence of the fairy world, or they are dangerous if they fall into the wrong hands.
Yeah, and just throw it out there, Colin Farrell, of course, is his dad, and Colin Farrell seems to just not give a shit. He's just there because he needs money. It's not he gives a bad performance. He's
barely in it.
Yeah. And even then, he's in it about as much as Chris Pine is in A Wrinkle in Time, which is so strange to kind of compare the two.
Yeah.
Though, also, gotta throw out the comparison. A Wrinkle in Time, the main actress, she was good. She wasn't given much to do, unfortunately. And Charles Wallace was fucking annoying. Also, I got really tired of his old... Everybody had to call him Charles Wallace,
like,
Charles Wallace.
Yeah, Charles Wallace.
It's like, can we call him Chuck?
Can we call him, like, just Charles, or Charlie, or Chuck, or CW, or something.
Yeah, it's like
in this movie, I got so sick of hearing Artemis Fowl. It's like, can we just call him Artemis or Artie or something?
Yeah, it's really weird. They constantly, like, when they have media snippets, they want to speak about Artemis Fowl instead of just saying Artemis.
Or constantly in the narration.
Oh, yeah.
The voiceover narration telling the story from beginning to end is like, they keep calling him Artemis Fowl, young Artemis Fowl. It's like,
yeah, the young Artemis Fowl, this and this. It's Josh Gad giving off a performance it's fine enough in a kid's movie, but dear God, is it really great after a while? Because this movie also suffers from one other issue beyond the fact that the plot is here. Like, the plot does not sit still. For an hour and a half long, we go through like 18 different plot threads, and I'm so baffled. I'm like, the first 20 minutes, I'm going, what's happening?
Yeah, there's stuff with his dad, there's stuff with the fairies, and this one fairy, Holly, and her dad, who turns out was kind of conspiring with his dad and
to get the MacGuffin that supposedly can help things that is not explained how it works.
They're trying to keep you from falling into the wrong hands, because the person who has Artemis's dad, Artemis Senior.
Mm-hmm. Call him Colin Farrell. It's just...
Yeah, it's like, it's like, I don't mind that the kid is called Artemis Fowl. Do we have to have two Artemis Fowl, Senior and Junior? It's like they gave up as far as naming the...
No. Ultimate give up was Luigi Mario. That was the ultimate give up, I believe.
Well, let's just explain third. The Mario Brothers.
See, Mario, Luigi Mario. His name's Mario because his last name Mario. So Mario,
and
5
that
seconds.
movie's a piece of shit. I love it though.
We would have to improve to be a piece of shit.
I know, it's like, it's such a train wreck of a movie. I love it though, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about
Artemis Fowl. Oh, but yeah. Beyond the narration that we constantly keep getting from Josh Gad, which for some reason was shot in black and white. I don't know why.
Because it's supposed to be through the interrogation camera thingy that they're doing.
But then, like, whenever he's, like, escaping at one point, and it obviously goes from a point of view that is obviously not the camera. It's still black and white until he gets out of it. Then it's, like, magically colors. So it's like, fuck is happening right now?
So that's a style choice, I guess.
Yeah. But also, we'll have to say, it's like the whole, like, the idea behind narration. It's like, I get it's supposed to help condense a whole lot of, explanations. Because there's a lot of...
speed things along.
Yeah, there's exposition just shoved out of Josh Gad's mouth. Yeah, it's just like, here, just throw it all out of words.
Talking about exposition dumps.
Oh, it's worse than exposition dump. It's an exposition just like diarrhea. It's like, hear everything. And one, this has the issue in the fact that it's a show. It's a tell, don't show. And because of that, you don't get as emotionally invested, which is a straight up issue. It's filmmaking 101. Come on, people.
Well, it's like with the kid being such a genius and cocky and everything. A lot of it is told to us. We don't really see very much. Mm-hmm. We see, like, he's a cocky little shit who thinks he's better than everyone, and no one is his equal, or no one that he knows except his dad.
Yeah, and it would have been better if they had more of the scenes. Like, there's one brief scene at the beginning where he kind of shit talks a therapist because, like, yeah, you think that's a,
The authentic, like, William and Mary style chair.
And it's like, no, it's a replica, and your grandfather was duped into buying it because he thought it was this. It's like, okay, that's like, okay, this is something you could... One, it doesn't paint him in the best light, but it does show he's smart. And that's it. Every other time, he's either getting somehow outsmarted by things, or he's getting duped by different things. And it's like, this clashes against what you're saying about this kid. He doesn't seem to be smart. He seems to be flying by the seat of his pants and hoping it works out well.
And yet, every time someone, like, goes to, like, outsmart him or try and, bring in reinforcements or, go around him or under him or something, it's like, oh, exactly what I want them to do is, right on time, right on schedule.
Yeah, it had issues in the book when they did that. And speaking of just the first book, that's the only one I could even bother fucking getting through. Because it was a fucking train wreck. Sorry, y'all. Artemis Fowl, the first book, was terrible. Just like the first Harry Potter book. And Twilight. But, whenever, constantly we're seeing this, Artemis pretty much getting duped or getting outsmarted, actually. And it's like, haha, no, I wasn't outsmarted. It screams constantly of the same issues that plagues, like, comic book villains, where it's like, I am so smart. That was my plan to get beat up. Don't you know that I'm smart? And it's like...
Yeah, it's like, kid, you're not as smart as you think you are.
And, we have to talk about this kid. Sorry, kids, your last gig. Just quit now. Just go to doing shampoo commercials or something.
Very little emotion and just really annoying.
There's also, it doesn't help that there are obvious signs that this movie was reshot in different scenes, because the kid was obviously, he was a teenager, or young teenager, like 12 or something.
Yeah, he's supposed to be 12 throughout the movie.
Yeah, and there are scenes where he's visibly taller. Like, he's up against another actor, and he's suddenly, like, he's a couple inches taller now. It's like, the fuck, is he standing on a stool now? And it's like, okay, so obviously this movie was shot all together in different bits and chunks, because either they ran out of budget, went over budget, or something, and or they didn't like the finished product. Obviously, probably the issue, because it seems to have had a fuck ton of reshoots.
That's probably the reason why I kept getting pushed back.
Yeah, and because of that, it's like this movie's really disjointed too. And also, if I had to touch on another thing beyond the fact this kid's crummy acting, I was going to talk on Holly's crummy acting. Gesundheit. And it's not so much that Holly is as bad as Artemis's character. Artemis, he has this emotional range. Dad, Dad, Dad. It sounds like somebody's reading off a cue card. And obviously there's a lot of moments where it's like, they want to have this like, oh, this is a big important moment, but Artemis can't be bothered to show any emotion. She's kind of, this slightly ruffles my hair. It's at best a minor issue for him. But with Holly, she constantly is on his perky and... But at the same time, she's like almost too chipper for her own good. And there's the issue where you had this movie shot in different pieces, because there's times when you can tell it's like this, like they had something else here because her mouth is not making the movements for this, or they suddenly did this shitty ADR. Like, obviously she's saying something because you can hear it, but her mouth's not moving. Yeah. And also, again, because this movie's all haphazardly put together, the CGI in this movie is dog mess. Like, it makes the end of Black Panther, that very bad PS2 fight that happened at the end of that, it makes that look like an Academy Award winning, just CGI masterpiece. Because either it looks like you have a CGI troll at one point who is supposed to be juxtaposed against other people. He looks so rubbery and so fake looking. It's like, Lord of the Rings did this and did it well in the early 2000s. This looks bad. It looks really bad.
It looks like a 12-year-old, did it on their computer.
Oh, it doesn't even look like a 12-year-old. It looks like a 50-year-old who has never had any time to work with a computer program.
And then with, what's it, Mulch Diggum? Josh Gad's character.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a dwarf, so that means he grabs his mouth and pulls open. It always looks off.
Yeah, because they are diggers, but they eat dirt. And they have to, do like a snake, just kind of...
Yeah, unhinge their jaw.
Yes. I think the word of it.
And, of course, we had to see that the rocks and everything go flying out of their butt. That was a weird choice, I guess. It's so much CGI.
Yeah, as he's burrowing, he's pretty much, pooping, shitting rocks. But it's
Yeah, and I would say, oh, well, it's just going around him, or he's, kind of spinning it out as he's going around. No. You see his underwear, and there's a hole where his butt is obviously at, and...
It's like...
rock poop coming out. It's like, thanks, movie? Why? Why is this a thing?
Y'all made such a big deal, Disney Plus, about, CGI more hair for Daryl Hannah's butt and Splash. And then we get that.
Yeah, we get Josh Gad's rock turds. It was like at that point in the movie, I'm like, this movie's fucking with me, I think.
And then another thing about Josh Gad. Please don't really let him improvise. He's not really that great at it.
Yeah.
Because you can tell there are parts where he's just kind of rambling on, making little jokes. They let him improvise, didn't they? They just let him go, just whatever, just do whatever, just make jokes, be funny.
Oh, and the poor Dame Judi Dench. Oh, God, what does Kenneth Branagh have on you? Does he kind of like you blowing your cousin or something? What kind of pictures does he have that made you have to get in this piece of shit? I'm glad that she said, fuck it, I'm just going to do whatever stupid shit I want to.
Mm-hmm.
She does this...
She is so wasted in this movie.
Yeah, and she does this voice... I think it's supposed to be synthesized, actually. I think it's what they did.
It's very, gravelly, kind of, old and haggard, but still, I'm still, vital and...
Yeah, and...
kind of voice. It's just...
It fails a lot, and it distracts more than it helps with anything. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, I guess you wanted this to be, the old haggard kind of police detective or anything like that. It's like, you could come with anybody else, dude. You could have just picked anything. Pick somebody who does have a gravelly kind of voice, or pick somebody that does have that kind of weariness about them. You could have got Bruce Willis. What the fuck else is he doing nowadays? Come on, Kenneth. It's like, what else are you going to do? It just... this movie's... So...
Nothing against her. Again, Judi Dench is wasted in this movie.
Yeah, and realistically, the entire plot of the movie, the first 20 minutes is kind of set up to everything. It's roughly kind of set up. Roughly is the best way. You have to have the random action sequences that have to set up that Holly is a fairy, because we need to see that, where she helps to take down the troll that we have to see later. And I get that is technically part of the book, but here's the thing, it doesn't add anything to the movie.
As I think it's to set up the time distortion thing and the memory wipe. And everything, kind of how they operate, how they keep fairy existence secret from humans.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much laying some of the ground rules for the world. And it just... And also introducing that troll saying, just shoot him like a ballistic missile.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's the thing to do.
Yes.
It's
here we're going to ballista this son of a bitch through your walls. To be fair, that is actually what they did in the book. It was still stupid then, it's stupid here. And it's just, this movie's bad, y'all. the biggest issue is also, gotta also mention one thing when it comes to any action sequence. Because I guess they told Ken, it's like, hey, we're going to make this movie an hour and a half, hour 35 max. We're going to cut the living fuck out of this film. So there is vital character development that Josh Gad has to give out. There is setup that Josh Gad has to give out because we can't, dear God, show the damn thing. And we can't show any of the setup or anything. And on top of that, the action sequences are so cut to ribbons. Like, they are so super fast cuts. Like, oh my God, what is happening?
And just how they're shown and how they're edited, like with the fairy, like, siege, you know, using one of the fairies on weapons against them. It's like, there's no way you're taking out all these things coming at you all at once with just that one thing.
Yeah, because all like, the fairies, I guess, decide, yeah, bum rush them, they can't take us all out.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way you'd be able to fend them off. Like, the way that they were doing it, just like... It's like... I've watched them play Minecraft Dungeons. This does not work.
It's so weird. The whole time...
And little magic jump cuts.
Yeah, it's worse than our magic jump cuts. It's like, and at least me, it's like, there is no budget for any of this.
Like, she's standing in this pod getting ready to go to the surface world... And
then just like cuts to her.
Like she's in and she's dropping in and they're...
Yeah, it's like, okay, well that was a weird edit. Why did we do this?
And there's a couple other scenes where they do that, just like cut. Just like,
yeah, it's like, it's jarring.
It's like, really need a better editor, better...
No, it didn't need an editor on this. I think that's actually the problem here. I think what happened was, Kenneth Branagh, he actually directed like about a 2 hour and 15 minute long movie. Pretty normal length for a setup to a book series film adaptation. Series. Yeah. And then they said, you know what, since nobody seems to like it, but to be fair, the first Artemis Fowl book is fucking terrible, so it's not a huge surprise. They decided to say fuck it after they couldn't get anybody to actually agree in terms of test audiences to actually like it, so they cut it to ribbons and said, hey, people will watch it if we put it up on Disney Plus, because dear God, we're not putting anything else up there except for goddamn documentaries.
Or the Lady and the Tramp remake a few months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, like the three, like, or there's like 4 or 5 things that have actually come to Disney Plus that are Disney Plus originals. The Mandalorian, of course, which unfortunately I haven't watched. I have watched, like, what everybody else is saying, Baby Yoda, because he's adorable. Lady and Tramp remake, which, at least it seemed like they put some kind of affection into the film, even though it still wasn't good.
It just does not work.
Yeah. There was some show about the first lady and her talking about when she was a teenager. They swear there was something else, and this. There's... Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. The last season of the Clone Wars, which pretty much was done beforehand. So I don't think I can even technically include that.
And then again, the 4,000 nature documentaries that, sorry, nobody gives a shit about.
Oh, God, Disney thinks everybody gives a shit about how they make stuff. It's like, I really don't give a shit, guys. Not enough fucks I've given anymore.
And I'm sorry, but when you think Disney, are you going to think nature documentaries?
Yeah. But not even trying to get too much on the soapbox of it, but it's weird that Disney, in all their infinite wisdom and all what they have, all these different movies, all these different franchises and everything, like, you would figure Disney Plus would be, it's going to be eventually something good if they decide to let WandaVision be as good as it can be. Same with Winter Soldier and Falcon. You know, stuff like that, you know, oh, this is what people were wanting. You know, a show that can help expand a universe, such as the MCU. But there's not really been much for Star Wars, outside of The Mandalorian, and technically, I guess, the last season of Clone Wars, which you got that already with Revenge of the Sith, so the hell? But on top of that, it's like, you would have figured they would have, oh, you know what, we're going to help put together like a $85 million Star Wars film that's going to maybe be like a little side story about some characters. or anything. That would be fun. Or, hey, all these live action films you're kind of getting a little sick and tired of. You know what? We're going to actually bring you one of Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Pocahontas even, I agree with. Or hell, why didn't you just release Mulan on there? Nobody cares about Mulan. No offense, all I've heard from it is it's gonna be a movie.
I'm curious, how they're going to do this.
They're gonna do it like every other fucking Chinese historical film has been done. I am thankful that they are not doing the stupid thing we're gonna purposely go with diversity and we're gonna have a bunch of black guys in it. It's whoa, that's not gonna work there. It's as bad as the idea of having Matt Damon as the main character in The Great Wall. Yeah. But it's baffling to me that Disney has so much money, so much actually smart people doing things, that they can't figure out Disney Plus and make it useful, make it enjoyable, and more importantly, give people a reason to buy it. Eventually, I'm gonna get tired of watching the old shows.
Yeah, I'll say it's nice to be able to watch some of the older stuff that I haven't been able to watch since I was a kid, like Little Mermaid, the series. Mm-hmm. It's I love that. It's I wish I would release that. I would buy the hell out of it. Mine. But it's and some of the stuff is I have not seen in ages, and I love it. It's oh my god, my childhood. But it's yeah, I want so much older stuff that you can, only so much you can take a stroll down memory lane.
Yeah, eventually it needs some original programming. Something else to give you a reason for it. Right now, that's actually, not to sit there and say this is a whole review about Disney Plus, but it kind of shows this is obviously a movie that they cut down and shoved it out on Disney Plus simply because they realized it was never going to be theater ready. But they cut it down just so that way it was a quick watch for people. Don't do that. If The Last Days of American Crime is any indication, you don't have to cut stuff to make it bad. You missed a huge bullet with that turd. But it's just put out the film. It's it's probably not going to be good. The original book is not good. But, this would have been a perfect... I think if we had watched A Wrinkle in Time on Disney Plus, I probably actually might not have felt as bad towards it. I still would not have cared for Charles Wallace or the fact they said his name 428,000 times. Mm-hmm. Just exaggerating a smidge there. But I think I would have cared for it a little bit more. I probably could have actually gave a shit if I didn't have to pay as much money for it. It's and also, here's the other thing. It's what happened to Disney Animation? All they do, we just do the CGI shit that nobody gives two flying fucks about anymore.
It's either all about Pixar or it's live action remakes of stuff we grew up in the 90s with. Mm-hmm.
That's just why I didn't mind the fact that, hey, they're going to remake Dumbo. Cool, fine, remake Dumbo. I don't mind. That's at the time, it was a nearly 70-year-old film.
And I'll say with stuff like, Maleficent. First of all, Sleeping Beauty came out 50 or 60s?
60s.
Yeah, it came out a long time ago, so there's at least that. And also, second of all, there's at least, the whole, it's told through the villain's perspective. Kind of adding some new little slant to it.
I was wrong. 1959. Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, I actually fully agree with you there. The whole idea behind Maleficent was actually a really good idea. And the original idea for Alice in Wonderland was actually unique. Seeing what happens to Wonderland, in the future, and seeing what has transpired. Instead, it was very much just a reboot of the entire thing. And I get actually the idea behind having Tim Burton doing it. Because if you wanted to show the Wonderland actually kind of turning darker and kind of getting corrupted by not only the Jabberwocky, but also the Red Queen, that would be the director to go to. It was a good, sound idea.
Poor execution.
Yeah. And then I still remember to this day both me and one of my friends going to watch it and falling asleep. We woke up and we're like, did you miss anything? I think I missed as much as you did. And we're like, well, sure, I didn't miss a fucking thing. Cool. But yeah, and why not put these live action films on here? Because, I mean, obviously Lady and Tramp at least did decent. Or the idea that they're going to do a 101 Dalmatian film with Emma Stone, they're going to put it on Disney+.
Another one.
Yeah, that is the one thing. It's like, y'all did one in the early 2000s or late 90s?
It was the late 90s.
Okay. Couldn't remember.
Although I think in the case of the new 101 Dalmatians, I think it's going to be about Cruella de Vil.
Yeah, and that's actually still a decent idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of my favorite books when I was a kid was that story about Three Little Pigs was told through the perspective of the big bad wolf.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm just trying to borrow a cup of sugar, damn it.
And then it's like, oh, my allergies happened. And then it's like, well, he's already dead. It's like, I gotta eat him then. Don't want him to spoil.
Yeah, I was like...
Yeah, I actually love that story.
I was like, it's a new little slant. It's just...
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't mind stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But some stuff, though, I don't really need an origin on the villain.
Well, you know what actually would have been really cool? A Scar film. Could you imagine if they actually did, like, a film detailing Scar's attempted coup before Simba was born? To show why he's a bit of an outcast. Show some of the backstory. How did he get in touch with the hyenas? How did he form that bond with them? In a way for them to be so willing to, we'll be your lackeys. That would actually be a really interesting movie, I think. I still don't think you need to do CGI or say it's live action. Fuck you guys.
And like everything is still CGI, so it's still technically animated.
Yeah.
Nice try, but...
Or, like, if you did an Aladdin movie, Jafar. I think actually detailing Jafar's rise to power would be really cool. Especially if you detail some of his actual magic he has himself.
Well, part of my problem with the Aladdin remake was them trying to explore Jafar's character and...
The Jafar actor not being good.
Well, that too. But also, like, trying to make it seem like he and Aladdin are, like, two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it also didn't help that the Aladdin film very much was... You could tell there were certain
focused on everybody but Aladdin.
Yeah, it also didn't help we had to have Jasmine, I am a true woman! And it's like, oh, that's awkward and weird.
Like,
kind of doesn't fit.
I love the song. How they filmed it was a little weird. And it's like, as much as I loved Jasmine getting more of her own agency, more of her is like, I'm not just some prize to be won. It's like, I will not just sit here and be silent.
Mm-hmm.
As they now, it's like, okay, well, that kind of takes away focus from Aladdin. What's the name of the movie?
Idol.
Aladdin.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's... Again, I hate that this is kind of evolved into just railing on Disney+, but it's like, Disney... Just give us the actual original version of this film. It's going to be a mess. I know it's not going to be really good. But, right now, its current state, it's unwatchable. Like, it is not a bad movie because the acting's bad. Just because, the writing is kind of ho-hum. But it's because it has been just shivved and cut into ribbons to fit this agency of trying to make it an hour-and-a-half long film, and it doesn't need to be. It obviously needs to be a 2-hour-long film. Like, for example, A Wrinkle in Time wasn't quite 2 hours, but it still was over an hour-and-a-half long. And it never felt like it shrugged, really. It just felt like there was a lot of, well, we're going to go over here, and then we're going to go over here. This movie just feels like, you're here, we're here, here. It's like, oh my god, I feel like I'm watching a kid who forgot his Ritalin prescription.
Yeah, it sounds like the one scene from the original Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, eggs are here. It's like, everywhere.
It will not break it, but it broke. It's just...
Still love that you run away with a thing to play with, a table full of props to play with. It's like yeah, he probably broke that.
It went up like...
It
broke.
It broke.
It's... Artemis Fowl is just a bad movie, y'all. But the sad part is, I can see that there was at least a decent movie. There was something supposed to be.
There was effort behind it.
Yeah.
But a little too much crammed in there, and too much... As much as it's almost contradictory to say, it's like too much tell and not show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they would have cut out, like, all of the stuff with Josh Gad in terms of his narration, and instead we actually got all of those scenes, which I'm pretty sure is what we originally had, it would have been it's not going to be a masterpiece, don't get me wrong. That's like the idiots who are sitting there like, whoa, they're going to do a Snyder cut of Justice League, it's suddenly going to be good. Ah! No, it's not.
That's not going to make it any better. It's going to make it longer and just...
It's still going to be...
drag out my torture.
It's still going to be one of the most painful sits to sit through. And this time, Zack Snyder's doing it. Whoopee-doo. The edgelord himself is doing it.
I think the only way I'll be able to sit through that movie is like, oh hey, there's Henry Cavill and there's what's his name? Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
Ben Affleck?
Well, he's attractive, but he doesn't really do anything for me.
He's still pretty ripped for a near 50-year-old.
Well,
actually, he is over 50 now, I think.
Yeah, like what inspired Henry Cavill to really push himself to be more ripped. It's just seeing Ben Affleck. It's like, this dude's like so much older than him. And just like, putting him to shame.
He's like, oh, what you up to, Sonny?
And he's supposed to be like this almost retired superhero as Batman. Don't say he would have done better as Superman, but...
Yeah, honestly, yeah, Ben Affleck would have been fantastic Superman. Not a great Batman. He's okay at best. He's passable.
Yeah, and Henry Cavill would have done much better... Batman. He's like, he does broody so well in this movie. He's like...
Hell, you can watch The Witcher and see he can do brood and still do badass pretty well. That's the reason why he fits Batman.
Well, with The Witcher, like, he gets to, like, kind of crack jokes and have, great comedic timing, and he's a lot more lighthearted on The Tudors, but...
Well, to be fair, Zack Snyder doesn't know a joke. His biggest joke is, haha, abortion. Like, Zack, it's not a joke. Haha, I killed your mother. What are you talking about? Why is her head here? The fuck's wrong with you, Zack? Haha! Zack's a fucked up weirdo. Sorry, he doesn't need to touch films ever again.
Zack Snyder, I just now realized, is Tommy Wiseau's long-lost twin brother. Or something.
That would not really surprise me at all. Yeah, because he has a fervent fan base of people who are unwilling to accept his own
failings.
Weakness and failings. And on top of that, he doesn't understand a lot of how humans work. Mm-hmm. Either that or Zack Snyder's just a Martian that somehow gains... He's just here. He's just wandered amongst humans.
In a human suit.
Uh-huh. Oh, we're totally off topic.
Yes.
The biggest problem is I can't think of any reason you would watch Artemis Fowl in its current state. Because you gotta imagine eventually they're going to release the actual version of Artemis Fowl that's watchable. Because that's the problem. Is like
the one's like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not going to be a good movie, but at least it's going to make sense. That's the problem. This movie makes no fucking sense a lot of times. There's times I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Or why this is happening. It's nice to know that I can't have actually, character development. I can't have any of this. Nope, I gotta have Josh Gad sitting there narrating the shit to me. Thanks, I'm fucking too. Anything else you want to say about Artemis Fowl?
No.
Yeah, just
no, don't do it.
It's not even like a good train wreck movie. There is a lot of train wreckiness to this, but it seems to be it's so weird because at least with Bloodshot, hell, Last Days of American Crime, which is technically a fuck longer and harder of a train wreck film to watch. Batman Robin, Battlefield Earth, or movies like that, there is something there.
There's a watchable component to it.
Yeah, this suffers from the issue, and not only that, but those had obviously directors. This is what they wanted to give you. This is truly what their best foot forward, or
They're always trying.
and minimal amounts of studio, meddling. Maybe Bloodshot not as much, but I don't know what else they would have done to change the damn thing. Here, there's obvious, like Disney's hand is just completely up inside Kid Branagh's hole, just grabbing a hold of his colon and squeezing it. Because it's such a mess, and it's not a watchable mess at that. It being an hour and a half actually hurts the film. I feel so weird saying that. Like Lovebirds, its hour, not even quite hour and a half was good. If it was an hour and 40 minutes, it would have blown my brains out. This being an hour and a half, it's like this needed extra space.
Wouldn't make it much better, but at least fix some.
And not only that, but dear God, can we have spent at least more than $3 on the fucking CGI? So, what would you give this as a final score?
Well, this may be a bit generous, but at 2.
How this currently is, I gotta give this a 1. There's not enough that is good. There's not enough even, like, so bad it's good to watch. Like, again, Bloodshot with fucking Scottish man who can't do a goddamn American accent, can't figure out which one he wants to stick with. He might be Southern, he might be from New York, he might be from the Midwest. Who knows?
It sounds like Mrs. Doubtfire. Your accent's a little muddled.
Oh, so you should. Yeah.
Shit.
I got her starting. Over my dumbness.
Oh,
It's just...
I got myself snorting. Giggly little bitch.
Yep. It's just... This is a muddled mess, and it's not, again...
Judi Dench is, again, she's wasted in this. She does a fine enough job, but she's just wasted. It's like, why are you here? You're much better than this.
Yeah, like I said, Kim Branagh's got some serious shit on her.
I mean, it was better than Cats.
That is not saying anything. Cats is the reason why we got the coronavirus. Cats cause racial segregation in the United States of America, okay? Cats killed my mom. I don't know. My mom's alive. Just
Cats caused the pandemic.
yes. Like every stupid meme that I think is slowly becoming right, everything was fine till we fucking made Cats. Once that shit hit, suddenly everything went bad.
I don't know. January was good for a little bit.
The coronavirus still in China. That's the reason why. Cats probably hadn't hit there yet. They didn't hit in...
Exactly. It was over there. It was not over here. It's like we didn't get it till like February or March.
Cats was still out though. That's the reason why. There's actually an almost washable mess, though it needs to be an hour and a half, not 2.
Yeah, Judi Dench, like, she was wasting this. And
She was legitimately wasted.
And Holly, I almost didn't mind.
That's because Artemis himself was so terrible, and he was so, like... that.
She's
like,
Oscar worthy by comparison.
yeah, it's just... it's
Well, also, she's almost kind of adorable with her, like...
precociousness.
her little perkiness. It's like...
And yes, precocious might be my big word for the day.
Don't strain yourself.
You know, if you start seeing blood coming out my eyes. Either I suddenly, got stigmata. Yeah, one of those two.
Oh, such a goober.
You remember something. So yeah, that's fucking Artemis Fowl. God damn. I think it's actually kind of astonishing how bad this movie ended up becoming because of what they did. Like, I want to see the original cut. I almost want to text Ken Braun, like I have his phone number. Hey kid, how you doing? Heard you talk shit about me. Didn't mean it. But I almost
was like, hey, can I see the full version of this?
Yeah, I almost want to like tweet out to Ken Braun. I was like, hey, do you have like the actual full version? Just should like send it to me. I'm not gonna leak it. I just want to see what the fuck was supposed to be a point. It's like, because there was a lot of horseshit going on in here that did not work. Oh, hell, this movies cannot come back to theaters soon enough.
I'm kind of with you. I don't know why they don't just release Mulan onto Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's like fuck
it's
it
like
at
this
point.
It seems like more of a reason for people to get Disney Plus.
Yeah, especially
because at this point, it's like, who's gonna want to go see it in theaters?
Oh, we're going to.
I mean, I'm kind of curious about it, but
it's gonna be bad.
It's like, I don't know. I think there are a lot of people who were like reluctant to see it, but then now they got pushed. It did
get pitched back like a motherfucker.
Pushed back
with a pitchfork.
Oh my goodness! I'm such a giggly little bitch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just release on Disney Plus, y'all. Get back to Artemis Fowl.
Yeah, just
keep getting off topic.
Don't even force your kids to watch Artemis Fowl. You're gonna wake up and they're gonna be like the Ring kids.
Just make them read the damn book at that point.
Don't inflict that torture upon them either. Just
make them
beat
read
them.
Games.
Just beat them. It'd be easier than making them read Artemis Fowl. They'll also thank you more, I think. No, don't beat your kids. That is a bad thing. To go on a bit of a dark note, this movie is going to lead to some kids getting some ass whoopings. I want to watch Artemis Fowl, kids. An hour and a half later, you stupid fuck. Ow. My hand. Swach. Quick little update at the end here. So, yeah, if y'all have actually been hearing some of the news, movies are going to be released soon in theaters in July. Once we get a definitive list on what it is, we will get back with y'all with what we're going to do throughout July. Because, dear fucking God, I'm getting tired of watching movies at home that suck ass. Or go to theaters and watch them suck ass.
Color Out of Space wasn't bad.
VFW was actually pretty good, too. But that's the thing. I have had 4 good movies since I've been doing...
And Lovebirds was not as bad as we were thinking. It was still bad, but it was not as bad as we were thinking.
Like I said, I've watched 4 good movies since this shit has happened. We're going on nearly 4 months. 1 a month is not doing it for me. Oh.
I said the Guns Akimbo? That was hilarious.
Mm-hmm. And there was something else. Oh, The Willoughbys was also pretty good. You didn't watch that one. It's on Netflix. It's actually a pretty good movie. It's got Ricky Gervais as a cat. It's funny.
Okay.
You should watch it. It's like an hour and 40 minutes long. It's worth it. But yeah, so that's Artemis Fowl. Don't watch it. Mm-hmm. Unless you need a reason to punch somebody today. Which I'm good. I got my own reasons. So, I guess until then, we'll see y'all next week with where the fuck I happen to watch. Might be Just Mercy. Might decide to do that. Because that'll be timely. I'll figure out what it is. We'll watch something. So, until then, we'll see y'all next week. So bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.